Hello and welcome back to the JKYog Youth Conference 2020. We just learned a lot about digital marketing and how it can benefit your next big venture that you're planning. It can give you a starting point, tips and tricks to develop your website and launch an email campaign or a social media campaign to reach the audience that you want. Our next speaker is an illustrious speaker. His name is Gaurav Dekhriwal, all the way from Kolkata, India. By the way, at almost 1 a.m. at night. Thank you, Gaurav ji, for joining us this late. Um, Gaurav Tekriwal is the founder and president of the Vedic Maths Forum, India. And he's an educator, and he has been imparting Vedic mathematics skills over the past 18 years across the globe. He is the author of Math Sutras from around the world. The Math Sutra, The Art of Indian Speed Calculation, published by Penguin and Random House India. And through television programs on Tata Sky and Reliance big TV platforms, videos and books, he has taken the Vedic math system to over 4 million students in India, South Africa, United States, Australia, UAE, Ghana, and New Zealand. Is truly international. Gaurav is a 7-time TEDx speaker, and he has been named as one of India's top young visionaries by India Africa and Ministry of External Affairs of India. He was also awarded by the Honorable Governor of West Bengal for his contribution to the field of Vedic mathematics. We are immensely grateful for Gaurav Tekriwal ji, president of the Worldwide Vedic Maths Foundation, to join us today and teach us the joy of math and be passionate about whatever we set our minds to and overcome our obstacles. Gaurav ji, over to you.
Thank you so much, Aditi ji, for inviting me to such a forum to talk about my experiences and my journey on Vedic maths. So it's absolutely beautiful to be addressing so many viewers at the JKYog Youth Conference today. And I consider it my honor and privilege to be here. So I would just like to share my screen in the beginning. I have divided my talk into two broad parts. The first part is where we would be doing some number crunching together. All right. So ensure you got some paper and pen handy. And the second part where I will be talking a little bit about my journey, and then I can take on some of your questions. Right. So I've tried to talk achieve your true potential with Vedic maths because I have fully achieved my potential with Vedic math and I still have miles to go. So I think this talk can be inspirational for a lot of young students who are watching this live. So how about beginning it now? How about trying a sutra? So in Vedic maths, there are 16 word formulas, or also known as sutras, by which you can calculate faster. Today I'm going to give you two sutras, the first of which is called the Nikhilam Sutra, which basically means above the base method. All right. So base actually means the multiple and the powers of 10, like 10, 100, 1,000, and so on. So you can multiply numbers very close to 10, 100,000, 10,000 fairly quickly with the Vedic math technique. I want to start off with the building your foundations first. So we have, say, 14 times 12, right? How can we calculate this quicker with the help of Vedic maths? Okay, so 14 and 12, they're both near to 10, right? 14 is above 10. Above 10 by how much? It's above 10 by 4. So you write plus 4 because it's above 10. For 12, we write plus 2 similarly, which means that 12 is 2 above 10. Now, we have a simple rule which we just need to do. That is, we cross add like this. So 12 plus 4 gives me 16. Also, note that 14 plus 2 is also 16. That means it's the first part of your answer. To get to the final part of your answer, all you need to do is multiply 2 times 4. Right here, as you can see my arrow, just multiply 2 times 4. That gives you 8. And your answer is right in front of you, 168. All right. So with the help of this basic foundation, you can go on to bigger problems as well. And you can square numbers mentally using this sutra called the Nicolam Sutra. I bring up an application of what we just learned. So say we have 101 times 101, right? And we need to find the answer for this. Note here that 101 is near to 100 this time. And 100 has two zeros. So on the right hand side, there should be two digits. So 101 is more than 100 by 1, right? So you write plus 01 like this. Similarly, 101 again is more than 100 by plus 01. So you write it again. Remember the rule I gave you last time? What is it? You crosswise add like this. So 101 plus 01 gives you 102. Also, note the other side is also true. So you can use either or. You can use the left-hand side diagonal or the right-hand side diagonal, and that will give you 102. To arrive at the final answer, I just multiply 01 with 01 like this, vertically, and that gives me the answer of 01. So 10201 is my exact answer. That's fairly how you can do simple mental calculations. Let's take this one. Say you have 102 times 102. Why don't you give it a shot? I give you 5 seconds. Try to give it a shot. Let's see if we can do this one. It's fairly simple. All we need to do is take the excess from 100, right? These two numbers are closest to 100. So all we need to do is take the 02, the excess from 100, add it to 102. That gives you 104, the first part of the answer. And then you multiply 02 with 02, like I showed earlier. And your complete answer is 10404. Similarly, try and do this one. 103 times 103. It will give you 10609. Right? That's how simple maths can be. That's how easy maths can be. So let's try these 5 problems on the board now. We have 104 squared. You can do it just the way I showed you earlier on. So this answer would be 10816. 104 squared is 10816. 105 squared would be 11025. Right? Try the next one. 106 squared. That would be 11236. Right? 11236 is 106 squared. And the next one is 107 squared, which would be 11449. And the last one there is 11664. Like that, you can go on. You can do 109 squared, you can do 110 squared, 111 squared, 112 squared. It's all by this magical pattern which is there in Vedic Maths. Remember, all Vedic Maths formulas have a proof. This is the proof of the method that I just shared with you, where you use 10, 100,000 like the base. In Vedic Maths, folks, there are two kinds of systems. One is a special technique applicable for certain numbers only, right? So I shared that with you. And there's a general technique also, which is applicable to all the numbers, right? So one of the methods for general multiplication I want to share with you called vertically and crosswise. Okay, so vertical means vertical like this, and then you have the crosswise. I'll share the pattern with you. Let's take an example first. So say we have 31 times 12, which we need to multiply. We apply the sutra called vertically and crosswise. The first step is just the word itself, which is vertically, right? See, these dots represents numbers here. All right. So you have vertical, that is you multiplying 2 times 1 here, gives you 2. All right. That's the vertical pattern. The next pattern which we need to do is the crosswise. So we crosswise multiply and then add, just like the pattern shown here, right? So you have 2 times 3, which is 6, and 1 times 1, which is 1. 6 plus 1 will give you a 7, which is the middle digit of your answer, right? And the final answer will come by vertically again, where we multiply the tens place with the tens place. So 3 times 1 I multiply here. That gives me 3. And that's my answer, 372. Right? All we need to do, guys, is we just need to apply the rule or the pattern, which is vertically and crosswise. And this sum can be done mentally. You can do it either right to left, like I showed you. You can even do left to right. So both the options are given to you in Vedic Maths. I'll take one more example, and I want you guys to try it. I'll give you a few seconds. Try this one. 12 times 34. I'm using very simple numbers at this time because I just want you to build your foundation and then go deep with Vedic Maths. So what is the first step? Step 1 is we multiply vertically. Okay. So in this case, we multiply 4 times 2 like this vertically. That gives me an 8. All right. The second pattern, the second step is crosswise like this, like shown in the diagram here. All you need to do is multiply 4 times 1, which is 4, plus 3 times 2. 4 plus 6 gives me a 10, right? That's a 2-digit number. So all we need to do is just add 4 plus 6, which gives you 10. Put a 0, carry 1 up here in your mind. Just carry up here 1 in your mind. And the last step you do is you multiply vertically, as shown in the diagram. The final step, third step, you multiply vertically. So 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Remember, 3 times 1 is 3. You had 1 carry over from the last step, and that gives you 408. So you can do, these 2-digit numbers in a single line. Imagine what you can do for other numbers, right? You can do 3 digits, 4 digits. So the scope of Vedic maths is very, very wide. You can do addition, subtractions, multiplication, divisions, squares, square roots, cubes, cube roots, all the way up to algebra, a little bit of coordinate geometry, and trigonometry as well. This is a proof of the method I just showed you, right? This is a proof and as to why the sutra works, right? This is the principle behind it. So that was the first part of my presentation. Guys, I'm going to take you a little bit in my journey. So I call it taking the first step. When I was young, fresh out of college, I was not sure what I wanted to do with my life. I was struggling for a direction and I didn't know which way to go. Growing up, I was under a lot of peer pressure, and this led me to sign up for a business school CAT program. I did so because everybody those days in the year 2000, that's 20 years ago, wanted to be a part of the business school and do an MBA. Thankfully, that didn't work out for me, and I was left to fend for myself. When you're preparing for CAT exam, guys, you should be knowing this. And if you appeared for your SATs or GMAT, when you're preparing for CAT, they ask you to do your SWOT analysis. And that's when they advise you to play based on your strengths. At that point, when I was taking a career decision, the best piece of management advice I got was to look for my strengths, which was math. I was good at it naturally, guys, and my school report cards proved it. I also knew a little bit of Vedic math at that point in time. which was all about speeding maths up. And not many people knew about it back then. So I thought to myself, if I could do some and teach this Vedic math to some students and help them develop this strong concept, I would at least be able to make my living for a year. And so a journey happened with me that I started finding joy and happiness in teaching Vedic maths to my friends, to the students who would come to me as referrals from their friends. The numbers used to consume me, guys. I used to spend hours trying to perfect my calculation skills. And so began a journey to promote a subject which was fairly new at that point in time. Vedic maths is essentially the world's fastest mental math system founded by an Indian saint. His name was Tirthaji. And he had written a book, which I show you here. That book was called Vedic Mathematics. And after reading that book, I was in a different frequency altogether. Some would say it had magical calculations, but essentially there's a lot of math principles behind it. So I started exploring the subject 20 years back, more through its origin. Vedic maths was founded by Tirthaji Maharaja, who was also the Sankaracharya in Puri, in Orissa. So I traveled to Puri to meet the current Sankaracharya of Puri. We exchanged some study notes, and I had the opportunity to interview him on Vedic maths for the first time, and I took his blessings. I was a major fan of a lady called Shakuntala Devi. She's also known as the maths ambassador and a human computer, and a book and a movie is also being released very shortly on her. She taught me a lot about the world with reference to mathematics, and I was proud to have her as my mentor until her demise in 2013. I had the opportunity to meet and learn from several other mathematicians in the field who are researching and working on Vedic mathematics. Meanwhile, I was doing a lot of workshops back in Kolkata, and those days it was a dot-com boom. Everything was going online those days, and I was starting my career. It was 2006, and I decided to launch my first website, and I started writing a blog too on Vedic maths. This is the glimpse from one of my websites which I started earlier on. Those days were before Facebook. So there was Orkut in those days founded by Google. So I created a Vedic Maths community called Vedic Maths Forum India, and I started promoting Vedic Maths online to take it to as many students as I could. And it was not possible for me to physically be present all the time to teach the system. So I shot some videos of the system, put it up on the website for sale as DVDs. This was the same time around the YouTube phenomenon. So we got some good traction and Vedic maths became popular worldwide. The year 2007 was a path-breaking year for me personally, as it was the first time I experienced online learning and online teaching. I was introduced to online whiteboards, virtual classrooms, through which you can connect to students anywhere. MOOCs, we did the first MOOCs in Vedic Maths back in 2007, and it was called Massive Open Online Course, which had hundreds of registrations by a Chandigarh-based virtual whiteboard company. So this was a complete game changer for me. People were waking up to e-learning, and from here in Kolkata, I would connect and take my Vedic math courses global. I was absolutely convinced at that point of time that the future was online, and I took a leap of faith and formally registered Vedic Maths Forum India in 2008. 2009 was a watershed year for me, and this was the first time I traveled abroad to Dubai on an invitation to do a Vedic math workshop for DPS Sharjah. This visit, the first visit to Dubai, exposed me to the real scope of Vedic maths. It introduced me to the Indian diaspora settled abroad, who could potentially be a ready market for spreading Vedic mathematics. So it was we who, as Indians, who spread the zero, yoga, Bollywood, and even samosa is now known globally, among other things. So can we do it again with Vedic maths? So this year of 2011-2012 also introduced me to important global platforms, and many developments happened, include my books, some television shows by which we took Vedic maths across India. Due to the immense popularity of the subject, we started spreading Vedic maths to different countries globally and digitally. We established a maths hub in Kolkata, and from one place, we started teaching the world one by one, month by year. We started building a reputation of our own, a good credibility, and we started teaching in 8-hour shifts round the clock. So in the morning, it was New Zealand, Australia. During the day, we started teaching India and South Africa and the Middle East. Towards the end, we used to go to some Western African countries and also the US. We are now working on further, that's my team. So happy to have a 30-member team back in Kolkata here. So we are now working on further scaling our enterprise with the advent of artificial intelligence and machine learning. The government have started implementing Vedic maths in the curriculum, and it was there in the syllabus now under the Shiksha Samagra program. We did some program in association with the government of India and trained a lot of students under this abhiyan. So looking back at the last 2 decades, it's been an awesome journey, making maths fun, making math interesting for everybody. It's only possible by following your passion early in life and finding that one thing which you truly love doing. I would urge you, students, to focus on your strengths and do what you love. And trust me, life would turn out to be magical for you. I would like to end today with my quote by Robert Frost, which appeals a lot to me. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And folks, that has made all the difference. Thank you very much.
Wow, Gaurav ji, that is an amazing and very, very inspiring story. Not only did you tap into the power of math for yourself, you discovered your passion and then you built this whole foundation, and millions of people worldwide are now benefiting from it. So you've also turned it into an entrepreneurial venture. And that in itself shows your capacity, first of all desire, and then the intention and the capacity and the passion to make a difference in the world through this medium of Vedic mathematics. I really applaud you, and thank you for the great work that you're doing to make mathematics um, an appealing subject worldwide. And there's one question that comes to mind with respect to this. So we also know that there's this system of abacus, right? So what is
Right.
the basic difference between the Vedic mathematics and abacus?
See, Abacus is a Chinese tool. It is a brilliant tool which is in a bead box. There's strings attached and there are certain balls. You move those balls or beads up and down and you can calculate with the abacus. It's a great tool and I recommend it to many young children, especially because with the abacus you can do addition, subtraction, and multiplication, a little bit of division as well. The scope of Vedic math is much more wider. You can cover till trigonometry. You can even do certain portions of calculus with the help of Vedic maths. So the scope is wider in the case of Vedic maths and a little bit of uh, is more narrower in abacus. So that's why I promote the concepts of Vedic maths because you can even do fractions, you can do percentages, you can do algebra. The scope of Vedic math is much more wider, and we all know the foundation of mathematics is from India. It's a more strong system compared to the others.
Thank you, Gaurav ji. There's one more question that comes to mind, like because Vedic maths is you have to learn these sutras and you have to train yourself to apply them, right? So, does it interfere with the regular academic routine of the students?
Not at all. It complements the syllabus of the students which they are learning. So, for example, uh, if I take a multiplication sum, right? Say 1, 2 into 3, 4, which we did today, 12 and 34. So it does not interfere because it's just drawing a rougher column. You are applying the sutra, and then you are giving it to the student in the academics, in the results. So it does not affect the traditional system at all. In fact, it complements it. It enhances the power of a student to do sums mentally. So students don't get confused, and they even score much better in competitive examinations.
I see. So it takes them maybe probably the learning curve is maybe a little bit of time, just maybe how many weeks of practice would it require to master these? Because I think there's like 16 sutras, right? How much time would it take to master them for each different scenario?
It really depends on which grade level are you. So what we suggest, if you're in the younger grades, that is grade 3, 4, 5, we recommend a 40-hour program which we have on Vedic Maths. As you grow older, you need to practice a little more because the concepts are a little difficult in terms of not the name. But once you do Vedic Maths, it becomes simpler. So I recommend a 40 to 50 hours of practice by which you can actually make Vedic Maths simple and math.
I see. So if 40 hours means like in a probably like a 5 hour work day, work week. So maybe about a week. Practice about a week, a lot of different sums in a workshop, and then you can just transition to applying it in real life. Maybe when you're preparing for your SAT exams, SAT exams, or your GRE exams, or your GMAT exams. So do you see a lot of students applying these principles on the competitive exams?
Absolutely. In fact, I would like to quote today that a Prime Minister Modi was doing a Man Ki Baat Charcha on YouTube. So that video just went viral because he suggested a person appearing for competitive examinations to do Vedic maths.
I see.
So, so it's all there on YouTube today, and it's viral for all the right reasons because Vedic math is a robust system through which you can do amazing calculations like I showed you.
Sure. And another question I had is like, there is this, I brought it up in the beginning of the presentation, and maybe before also I was talking to you. What will children develop a love for mathematics or discover a new way of looking at mathematics if they have previously they don't like studying mathematics? Like early on in life, like personally for me, I always loved math, but I had friends who they would look at math and be like, I don't want to study math, and math is not my cup of tea or coffee or lemonade or whatever. But would Vedic mathematics change that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. So I tell you, recently, just in March, before the lockdown, we trained over 7,000 government school students, okay, into Vedic maths. And initially, they were very reluctant to do any sort of maths. They were like, I don't like it, it's a maths phobia, and they had to deal with a lot of maths. But after the concepts of Vedic math, which we shared with them, there was a dramatic increase of over 25% in their scores.
I see. I see.
So we did a test both before and after the training. 25% jump in scores of government school students, which we experienced. So it makes maths fun. It makes that interesting because it's doable. Why is maths difficult? Why is maths phobia? Because there are misunderstood words.
Right.
If you're in PhD perhaps, right, and you are asked to learn up or mug up your multiplication times tables, that's difficult and very daunting for a child.
Right.
So if you're given logics by which you can do the times tables
Right.
on your fingers, right, it would be much more better for a child.
Right. That's right. I would be more encouraging, at least initially, if they can see results and then they can go down to understanding, oh, okay, so what was the fundamental behind this problem that I just solved? And they would gain a better appreciation for the formulae that go into the simple techniques that result in those simple techniques coming up.
Absolutely.
Right,
Absolutely. That's why I focus on two kind of proofs. For children, we give them visual proofs. That why is 2 times 8 16.
right,
We give them certain visual proofs so that they understand the logic behind it and they appreciate the system more.
right. So then that builds their confidence. So you're building
And
up their
sets the scene too.
confidence.
And sets the
Yes.
scene too.
Yes. So, in a sense, like when they know what they know, uh, then they are more eager to approach attempting what they don't know.
Yeah, because they become a little confident,
Right.
become little more, they have a lot of tools in their armory that ways.
Right.
Otherwise, there's nothing. In Vedic math, you also have a powerful checking system.
Right. That's right.
With the checking system, you can check whether your answers are right or wrong immediately.
Okay. So there's a whole verification, and so the 40-hour course basically covers both the calculation system as well as the verification system.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I see. Wonderful, Gaurav ji. We are so blessed to have you to share the joy of Vedic mathematics, based on very simple techniques in India that have been followed in ancient India to do these quick calculations. And yes, you mentioned Shakuntala Devi ji, so it's kind of almost coincidental or serendipitous that you can say that we have this Vedic math session by you right around the time that that movie is being released. She's a legend. Shakuntala Devi ji is a absolute legend. I remember having a book about her, reading about her when I was very young, because I was also very interested in mathematics. Um, so
Wow.
I really appreciate your time today, Gaurav ji. And for those of you who are watching, Gaurav Dekhriwal is the president of the Vedic Maths Foundation. He has transformed the lives of students, 4 million students worldwide through Vedic mathematics. And if you are interested, do check out the Vedic Mathematics Foundation Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. And if you want to take some of the courses, then do get in touch with the Vedic Mathematics Foundation. I'm sure it will help you in your future and build your confidence in this mother of sciences, which is mathematics. Thank you once again, Gaurav ji, and we hope that you can grace this platform again sometime soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aditi, for inviting me today. And it's been
Yes.
absolutely an honor. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Gaurav ji. Thank you,
Radhe
Gaurav
Radhe.
ji. Radhe Radhe. So for our viewers, we hope that you loved that session on Vedic mathematics, and now we'll take a quick 5 minute break, and we will come back. Actually a 1 minute break, and we will come back to our paper presentation. We have Dipasha Sengupta all the way from Assam, India, who will be presenting on affordable and clean energy. She's one of the paper presentation winners. The committee very much appreciated her paper. Thank you, and Radhe Radhe. Okay, so Dipasha ji, we have about 10 minutes for your presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, welcome. And what is your what is your background?
I'm in Bengali. I'm a Bengali girl, and I'm from and I'm doing my MSc in history from culture.
Okay. So you live in Assam right now, and you're doing your MSc
Yes, ma'am.
in chemistry.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful, Dipasha ji. And you had a paper on affordable and clean energy, and we're very happy to have you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
uh,
I'm also it's honor.
yes, and we are live. And for the viewers, let me tell you, Dipasha Sengupta is one of the paper presentation winners worldwide. Her paper got selected to be presented at the JKYog Youth Conference under the Sustainable Development Goals category of affordable and clean energy. Dipasha ji has MSc, is pursuing an MSc or Master of Science in Chemistry from the University of Silchar. Is that correct, Dipasha ji?
Yes, ma'am. Assam University and the
From,
place is Silchar.
yes, from Assam University in Silchar. And
Yes,
over
ma'am.
to you, Dipasha ji. We can't wait to hear your talk. Please go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to introduce myself on this auspicious occasion of JKYog conference. First of all, I would introduce myself. I am Dipasha Sengupta, Arts in Chemistry from Assam University. Today, I am going to present my paper, which titles Affordable Energy. About the past, present, and future scenario of the non-renewable sources of the energy crisis and the use of alternative sources like affordable and clean energy. As the warming, pollution, and fuel shortages are getting and more serious through time, affordable and clean energy is increasingly the ideal solution to energy-related problems we have to solve one way or another. Biofuel is currently mainstream and highly supported solutions, an idea to make renewable fuel by living organisms such as corn, vegetables, and sugarcane. Biofuels fossil fuels over contains the potential to tackle most of the problems people encounter using fossil fuels. This makes renewable fuels making it a cleaner source of energy and a better option than fossil fuels that will run out shortly sooner or later. Some of the weaknesses in due to practical usage have been found. For example, corn ethanol is currently encountering technical limitations, serving it as a standstone fuel, meaning that corn ethanol can only function by combining it with a certain amount of gasoline. While gasoline is a kind of fossil fuel, finally we will have a comparison between other renewable sources in the world, including solar power, other biofuels, and hydrogen fuel. The most noticeable advantage of corn fuel is an enhancement of fossil fuels, is also the biggest advantage of ethanol energy, a renewable fuel. Gasoline as a fuel is extracted from petroleum, and what makes petroleum an unreliable source of energy is that petroleum is renewable, meaning it would run out sooner. Contrary, corn ethanol is a renewable and affordable source of energy, meaning if corns are replanted and remained into fuel, corn ethanol can be a long-term sustainable energy source. Corn ethanol has the potential to produce a perfect solution of the energy crisis that will happen sooner or later. As experts predicted, petroleum will run out in 40 years.
Okay, is that
With the increase of modern society, is thus the requirement of more energy becomes necessary. Currently, humanity are facing where humans are burning through non-renewable resources such as fossil fuels, coal, natural gas, and oil faster than they can be replenished from its set stock. Right now, China is the leader in clean energy. Have been dramatically expanding on clean or renewable sources such as wind turbines, solar photovoltaic cells, and water turbines. Of renewable and China has place. China has spent almost 500 on renewable energy sources. Imagine a world without energy. People living in the dark with no heating system to keep them warm in the cold weather cannot cook but have to rely on burning woods. Unable to cure diseases as there are no refrigerators to store vaccines, the expression modern world would have no meaning. Humans have managed to create every possible luxury one can imagine. To make humans have also created severe problems by themselves and the environment. Affordable and clean renewable energy in Costa Rica image a country that has clean renewable for its citizens, where the lights never have to go out, a country that does not have to rely on another state for their energy needs, energy that is affordable for all, energy that does not pollute the earth and drain it of its resources. Well, that's what Costa Rica is trying to achieve. There are problems with fossil fuels, but one is that they are non renewable. We will be out of natural gas in about 50 years and oil between 2025 and 50. Most of the world is currently dependent on fossil fuels. This is an alarming fact. The fundamental time for clean renewable energy is of the essence. Clean energy or renewable energy by definition is energy that is collected from sources which are naturally managed on a human time scale. This includes wind, rain, tides, geothermal heat, waves, and most relevant to the project, sunlight. Non-renewable energies are the exact opposite and are naturally such as crude oil, natural gas, and tar sands that should replace fossil fuel energy. There are many reasons that the US can use renewable energy to improve the economy. Energy can have a fixed price. Unlike fossil fuel, renewable energy is a continual source of energy that will not be depleted and will not cause inflation. The need for government within the society cannot be downplayed, especially as it pertains to 21st century living. The structure of governments differs from country to country, which largely defines the economy. For instance, say Communist period in China introduced a central political and administrative system of government, whose result was a closed or centralized economy. The future industry in energy developed of nuclear energy. At the start of the mid 1950s, the world was introduced to a new alternative power that would revolutionize the energy industry. This power became known as nuclear energy. Since that time, nuclear energy seemed to pave the way to efficiency and supply power to countless cities around the globe. Energy is every major challenge of humanity the world faces today, be it for job security, climate change, food production, or increasing. Working towards this goal is especially important as it interlinks with other sustainable development goals, focusing on universal access to energy, increased energy efficiency, and the increased use of renewable energy through new economic and job opportunities is crucial to creating sustainable and inclusive communities and resilience to environmental issues like climate change. At the current time, there are 3 billion people who lack access to clean cooking solutions and are exposed to dangerous levels of air pollution. Additionally, slightly less than 1 billion people are functioning without electricity, and 50% of them are found in sub Saharan Africa alone. Fortunately, progress has been made in the past decade regarding the use of renewable electricity from water, solar, and the ratio of energy used per unit of GDP is decreasing. However, the challenge is far from being solved, and there needs to be more access to clean fuel and technology, and more progress needs to be made regarding integrating renewable energy into end use applications in buildings, transport, and industry. Public and private investments in energy also need to be increased, and there needs to be more focus on regulatory frameworks and innovative business models to transform the world's energy systems. I would like to conclude my presentation hoping that it will be very useful for the coming generations and the importance of sustainable development. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Dipasha ji, for that extensive presentation on clean energy and the problems and issues that we face right now. You mentioned that China is actually a leader in this area. Could you elaborate a little more than that? And how is the in the United States? How are we? What is our approach to clean energy? Versus China or India?
US is replacing fossil fuel with different types of energy like solar, tidal energy, hydroelectric. This energy renewable energy which can't be replaced, and so they are focusing on this type of renewable energy. Yes, ma'am.
I see, the Pashaji. And what can we as youth, like at our level, do to help the progress of this sustainable
I
development
can't
goal?
hear you, ma'am. What?
Yes, can you hear me now, Dipashaji?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
we are asking basically what can we as youth do to help use only clean energy, like in terms of our daily lives, what can we do?
We should, ma'am, as a youth, we should be aware of in sustainable development. We should we should use the minimal use of non-renewable energy and focus only on renewable sources of energy like solar power. This type of energy sources we should increase using in our for our domestic uses, all types of uses.
Thank you, Dipashaji. And just wanted to ask you, is this, do you plan to continue to work in this area? And why are you so passionate about clean energy?
I'm being a student of science, and I thought that out of all the five topics, it resonates me the most, and the affordable and clean energy. I can also I have this topic in my syllabus too, and so I thought that it will be useful for others to know about this type of energy.
Thank you very much,
Mhm.
Dipashaji, for sharing your thoughts on clean energy, affordable and clean energy, and inviting us all to be a
Thank you,
part
ma'am.
of that process. Um, we hope that we wish you all the best in your master's program and hope that through your work and through your such crystal clear understanding of of clean energy, you can impact the world and that you can make a
Thank you, ma'am.
difference. Thank you so much, Dipasha ji. Thank you for your time to join
Thank
us
you, ma'am.
today and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Rad-
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe,
We-
Radhe, Radhe,
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe. We will now, please stay tuned. We will have a new YouTube link for our next
Yes, ma'am. Surely, ma'am. Surely. I will join that too.
illustrious speaker, Chris Natsky, who is a national taekwondo champion and a life coach and a motivational speaker, training thousands of people to develop the mindset of a champion. And please stay tuned. The link will be posted in the comments of the current live video, and we will be back at 3:30 p.m. Central Time.